From golden boy to monster, how the media turned on Scott Peterson, like Chris Watts. Picture this. Two men, both seen as perfect husbands and fathers, adored by their communities until their secrets unravel, and the media paints them as monsters. Scott Peterson and Chris Watts started as golden boys, but public opinion flipped to rage as their lies were exposed. How did the media shape their fall from grace? Welcome to Dark Truths, True Crime Stories, where we dive into the cases that shock us. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and join us to explore how the media turned sympathy into outrage for Scott Peterson and Chris Watts, and what it reveals about us. Let's get started. The Golden Boy image, Scott Peterson's starting point. In 2002, Scott Peterson was the all-American dream. Charming, handsome, a successful fertilizer salesman with a beautiful pregnant wife, Laci, in Modesto, California. Neighbors described him as friendly, always ready with a smile. When Laci vanished on Christmas Eve, Scott played the worried husband, helping at the search center, speaking to media. A 2003 Modesto Bee article quoted a friend calling him devoted. The media initially portrayed Scott as a grieving spouse. Early news showed him passing out flyers, his voice cracking on TV. The public rallied, seeing a man desperate to find his family. But cracks formed. Why was he so calm? Have you ever seen someone seem too perfect? Could Scott's charm have hidden something darker? What's behind the golden boy facade? The golden boy image, Chris Watts' early perception. Fast forward to 2018 in Frederick, Colorado. Chris Watts was a quiet, doting dad coaching his daughter's sports, posting loving family photos online. When Sean, Ann, Bella, and Celeste disappeared on August 13th, Chris pleaded on local news for their return, his face anguished. A 2018 Denver Post article described him as a concerned father. The public bought it, social media filled with prayers for the Watts family. Chris was the everyman, a guy next door, but his TV pleas felt rehearsed to some. How does a perfect dad image fool us? Could Chris's tears have been staged? What's the power of a public plea? The first cracks in Scott's story. By January 2003, Scott's golden boy image began to crumble. Amber Frey, his mistress, came forward, revealing Scott lied about being a widower. A 2003 San Francisco Chronicle report detailed Amber's tape calls, where Scott claimed to be in Paris during Laci's vigil. The media pounced. Headlines screamed, cheating husband and liar. TV shows like Dateline aired Amber's recordings, showing Scott's cold detachment. Public sympathy vanished. Online forums called him scum. The affair wasn't just a scandal. It suggested motive. Have you seen a reputation flip overnight? Could Amber's tapes have changed everything? What's the impact of a secret affair? The first cracks in Chris's story. For Chris Watts, the shift came faster. On August 14th, 2018, neighbor security footage showed him loading his truck the night Sean disappeared. Nichol, Kessinger, his mistress, went to police, revealing texts about a fresh start. A 2018 CBS Colorado report aired Chris's lies. He claimed Sean left, but evidence mounted. Media turned, calling him a family annihilator. Social media exploded with rage. Hashtag Chris Watts monster trended. His tearful pleas now seem fake. How does one day change a man's image? Could Nichol's texts have sealed his fate? What's the speed of public judgment? Media sensationalism, Scott's case. The media didn't just report Scott's case, it amplified it. By April 2003, when Laci and Connor's bodies washed up in San Francisco Bay, cable news ran 24/7 coverage. Court TV dissected Scott's fishing trip alibi, calling it flimsy. A 2004 People article labeled him America's most hated man. Pundits speculated wildly, did he use concrete anchors? Was Laci killed at home? The public ate it up, with forums like Web Sleuths buzzing. The media's framing made Scott a monster before trial. Have you seen media frenzy shape a case? Could sensationalism bias justice? What's the line between news and drama? Media sensationalism, Chris's case. Chris Watts' case was a social media storm. By August 15, 2018, after his confession, outlets like CNN ran headlines like, "Father admits to killing family." YouTube channels posted body language analyses, calling Chris a narcissist. Reddit threads dissected his texts with Nichol, fueling outrage. The Netflix doc American Murder, 2020, cemented his image as a heartless killer, using Shanann's own videos. The public's rage was instant. Petitions demanded harsher sentences. How does social media amplify cases? Could Chris have escaped scrutiny in another era? What's the role of viral outrage? The role of TV appearances. Scott's TV interviews were a turning point. In a 2003 Good Morning America interview, he seemed detached, avoiding emotional depth. Analysts on Nancy Grace called his demeanor sociopathic. Clips replayed endlessly, shaping public perception. Chris's TV pleas were similar. His August 2018 interview with Denver 7 showed stilted emotions. Body language experts on YouTube noted his fake tears. Both men's appearances backfired, turning sympathy to suspicion. Have you judged someone by their TV demeanor? Could Scott or Chris have swayed the public? What's the danger camera? The Mistress factor, Amber Frey's impact. Amber Frey's role was a media bombshell. Her tape calls, aired on 2020 and 2003, showed Scott lying about his life. The public saw a man plotting a new future while Laci was missing. Amber's tearful testimony in 2004, per New York Times report, humanized her and vilified Scott. Media portrayed her as a hero, but also a scandalous other woman. Public opinion split. Some praised her courage. Others called her naive. How does a mistress become a media star? Could Amber's tapes have been the case's core? What's the cost of her exposure? The Mistress factor, Nichol Kessinger's role. Nichol Kessinger's texts, reported by Oxygen in 2018, showed Chris planning a life without Shanann. Unlike Amber, Nichol avoided the spotlight, but social media wouldn't let her. Reddit users accused her of knowing more, despite her cooperation. A 2019 Denver Post article noted her fear of media portrayal. Her low profile made her mysterious, fueling conspiracy theories. The public's rage at Chris spilled onto her. Could Nichol's silence have hurt her image? How does media judge the other woman? What's the difference from Amber's role? Public outrage in social media. In Scott's case, early 2000s forums like CourtTV.com were the battleground. Users called him a psychopath after Amber's tapes aired. By 2004, protests outside his trial demanded justice. Chris faced a digital mob. Twitter and Reddit erupted with hashtag #JusticeForShanann, sharing his texts and videos. A 2021 Vox article noted social media's role in amplifying outrage, making Chris a global villain overnight. How does online anger shape cases? Could Scott or Chris have faced less hate pre-internet? What's the power of a hashtag? The monster label, Scott's transformation. By Scott's 2004 trial, media had fully turned. People ran covers calling him the face of evil. His affair, lies, and fishing trip alibi were dissected on Dateline. The public saw a man who killed his pregnant wife for freedom. His death sentence, later commuted, felt like justice to many. The media's framing, cheater, liar, killer, stuck. Even supporters dwindled as evidence mounted. Have you seen a label stick like this? Could Scott have been seen differently? What's the impact of a monster tag? The monster label, Chris's transformation. Chris's transformation was faster. After his August 2018 confession, CNN called him a family killer. Social media amplified it, memes mocked his TV tears. Videos analyzed his guilt. The 2020 American Murder doc sealed his image as a cold-blooded murderer. Public outrage was relentless. Petitions called him inhuman. His life sentence without parole satisfied many. How does speed of news change perception? Could Chris have been seen as redeemable? What's the weight of a monster label? Media framing and agenda setting. Media use agenda setting to focus on Scott's affair and lies, per 2023 Journalism University article. Outlets like Fox News framed him as a villain early, influencing jurors. The public saw what media highlighted: deception, not innocence. Chris's case saw similar framing. CNN and HLN focused on his text and confession, ignoring his initial grieving dad image. Social media amplified this, per a 2022 Society Today article. How does media choose what we see? Could different framing have saved them? What's agenda setting's role in justice? The role of family reactions. Laci's family, the Roches, fueled media narratives. Sharon Roche's 2005-2020 interviews called Scott a liar. Their pain humanized Laci, making Scott's betrayal worse. Shanann's family, the Razuseks, did the same. Frankie Razuseks' 2019 Facebook posts begged for focus on victims, not Chris. Their grief, aired on Dr. Phil, turned public sympathy against Chris. How do families shape media stories? Could their pain sway opinion too much? What's the role of victims' voices? Public sympathy to rage, Scott's fall. Scott's fall was gradual. Early sympathy helping searches. Media pleas turned to rage as Amber's tapes and Laci's body emerged. By 2003, polls showed 80% believed he was guilty, per a Gallup survey. Media painted him as a sociopath, and the public agreed. Protesters' trial showed the shift signs read, "Justice for Laci." His golden boy image was gone. Have you seen public opinion flip like this? Could Scott have kept sympathy? What's the tipping point for rage? Public sympathy to rage, Chris's fall. Chris's fall was swift. His August 2018 TV pleas gained sympathy, but his confession days later sparked fury. Social media drove and hashtag Chris Watts Monster trended with thousands of posts. A 2019 People article noted 90% of polled viewers believed he was guilty pre-trial. His sentencing saw crowds cheering his life sentence. The public saw a monster, not a dad. How does speed amplify outrage? Could Chris have avoided this fate? What's the role of instant news? Media's lasting impact, Scott's legacy. Scott's image as a monster endures. The 2004 TV movie The Perfect Husband and 2025 documentaries like Laci Peterson, A New Look, keep him vilified. The LA Innocence Project's 2025 bid to free him, per ABC News, faces public backlash. Most still see him as guilty. Media cemented his legacy as a liar and killer, despite his claims of innocence. Can media erase a chance at redemption? Could Scott's story change? What's the legacy of media framing? Media's lasting impact, Chris's legacy. Chris's legacy is equally fixed. American Murder, 2020, and YouTube breakdowns keep him as a heartless killer. Social media posts still call for harsher punishment. His 2018 People interview, complaining about media portrayal, only fueled hate. The public sees no redemption. His image is set in stone. How does media lock in a narrative? Could Chris ever be seen differently? What's the power of a docuseries? Lessons from media's power. Both cases show media's might turning golden boys into monsters through framing, sensationalism, and mistress evidence. Scott and Chris lost public trust via lies and affairs, amplified by TV and social media. A 2022 Vox article says media shapes justice more than we admit. These stories warn us to question narratives and check biases. Have you questioned a media story? Could we avoid judging too fast? What's the lesson in these falls? From heroes to villains. Scott Peterson and Chris Watts went from golden boys to monsters, thanks to media's relentless lens. From Amber's tapes to Nichol's texts, from TV pleas to social media storms, the public's sympathy turned to rage. Thanks for joining us on Dark Truths, true crime stories. Comment how you think media shapes justice, and subscribe for more. Until next time, question the headlines and seek the truth.